Привет, ребята! У нас сегодня новый, очень интересный, фантастический, крутой гость, который никогда не давал интервью не то что в кальянных блогах, а вообще нигде. Эмиль Desvall, создатель, кто не знает, самых дорогих кальянов в мире. Desvall Shisha, Desvall Hookah, or just Desvall?
Desvall.
Окей. Средняя цена там 50 тысяч евро. Есть, конечно, модели, ну, такие простые, по 15 тысяч евро. Самый дорогой кальян, который выпущен в мире, это 2 миллиона 400 тысяч евро, тоже сделан Desvall. И сегодня мы зададим ему впервые где-либо вопросы о том, что это вообще такое кальян за 2,5 миллиона евро. So, hello Desvall, very nice to meet you.
Likewise, Anton, thank you for
very
being here.
nice to meet you in Moscow. Is it your first time here?
No, I have been here several times.
Do you like it?
It's a beautiful city, one of the best capitals, no, sorry for that, is the best capital of the world, really.
Really?
It is.
Okay, what do you like about Moscow so much?
The history, the decadence, the size of the city, and the dynamic, and Moscow, as you said, it never sleeps.
Yeah, it's true, it's true. But I've been to Stockholm, your native city. You've been born in Stockholm.
That's correct.
Yeah, I love it. I love it because it's very European, you know, you're very high level of life in Stockholm.
It is.
But still, world know Swedish people for they love to practically to minimalism and stuff like that. And I was so impressed that the world's most expensive hookahs come from Sweden.
Stockholm, correct.
From Stockholm. So it doesn't make sense for me. Like, it's not the Dubai, you know, or something like that. It's not the city of opulence. How did you come to this idea to make something so expensive in this market?
I wanted to create something unique, and I had a Shisha session with a friend of mine. We were having a hookah, or a Shisha, and I was not so happy about the evolution of the pieces of hookah and Shisha. It was been standing still. So I said to myself, this could and has to be improved. So I took a sheet of paper, possibly a blanket or a tissue, and from there I started to write design, quality and quality and quality. And then functionality, because Swedish people are much for functionality.
Yeah.
That's practical things. Huh? And then nevertheless what the cost will be. Because if you restrict yourself in the beginning about costs, you will not be able to create anything. Because then you just weren't going to do a flat paper and that's it. Then you will stop.
So you didn't have any funding problems at the start? You just imagined the design and you didn't care how much it's going to cost?
No, no limits.
So you had the money? You had the money. Okay.
I had the assets to do it.
Okay, so it wasn't like a business, or it's a business, because for this day I don't understand. Do you make money on Desvall hookahs?
We spend more money than we make.
Oh,
yeah.
I see.
Yeah. So it's more a pleasure than business.
But if
you do something with pleasure, maybe one day it becomes business.
Yeah. So was it your idea that someday you will make profit, or you never thought about it as a business?
Never.
Never. So it's just your pleasure.
That's correct.
Well, it's very nice that you have this opportunity to do what you want.
It is, but it takes a lot of dedication and craziness and a lot of hard work too behind it.
May I ask, have you been born in a really rich, wealthy family, or you made your own way?
No, we have assets in the family.
Oh, so good for you.
Thank you.
The design, the idea, the main idea of the Desvall hookah, they're all the same in the base. It's a triangle-shaped big hookah. Right now, as far as I know, you're going to launch smaller hookahs.
Yes, we will.
But still the same design.
Same.
Your idea, or you hired someone?
No, it's my idea also.
The sketch was yours?
Yes, the sketches are mine. I don't do the CADing, but the exterior sketches and the interior things I think about myself.
Okay. So 6 years ago you had that sketch.
Yes.
How long did it take you from the sketch to the actual product?
To the first prototype, I think it took me a year.
A year, and then how long for the first sale?
For the first sale, it was another year.
Another, okay. You remember your first client?
Yes, I do.
Still in touch? No? Is it a personal thing to sell something expensive? Like we spoke with you about the Ferraris and expensive cars, and you told me the stories about people buying cars directly from Enzo Ferrari back in the time. So this sale, was it like directly from you or?
Yeah, it's through personal friends relations, yes. So basically, I was not, and I'm still not too much for Instagram and Facebook and social medias. And as you see other premium brands in the old days, like Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, etc., none of them said that social media is for them. But now everybody is in social media.
But you are still the old style.
Yeah, I'm old schooler in that case.
So the first sale you have is like 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years. Did they come for the maintenance, for the service, or it's still perfectly working?
It's still working, no complaints whatsoever.
Oh, it's good for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So it's a good product. In the Shisha business, it's an absolutely extraordinary, unique situation when you don't think about the cost of the product, when you don't think about the money, and you have an opportunity to make anything you imagine from the materials that you want. You don't think about the costs. So why did you choose these materials, and what materials did you choose?
The reason why I chose different materials was not to be a copycat. Like in this business, what I have seen so far, there's a lot of copycats. Huh? You do something and everybody says, oh, that looks nice, or this is good. So the people do more or less the same thing again. Huh? They just try to copy. Yeah. And to make a nice protection of a design, and from the point of view of design, I started up to see how things could be done in a different way. And that's why I chose titanium, because it doesn't rust. You don't have no corrosion problems. And actually, I like the look of it, of that. And then from the carbon fiber point of view.
Carbon fiber is your kind of newer model.
Yes.
You didn't start from
No, I didn't start from carbon.
So you start from titanium.
Titanium.
Crystal glass.
Crystal glass.
And?
Hand blown in Sweden and crystal cut in Sweden. Because we have a long heritage in Sweden. You have for sure also the people in Murano, and you have the people in Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
And then you have the people in Sweden, which are very famous for heritage of glass. Today, there are not many glass manufacturers left in Sweden either, due to the reason because of the costs, and the people are getting elder, and it's a very heavy work to work with glass.
They're getting elder, but they don't have so many new use coming to them yet?
Yeah, correctly.
So someday you think this industry will just disappear?
Yeah, it will disappear or move to other countries in the world with less quality or less know-how and experience how to do things.
So you think in today's world, is it a good idea to produce something that will last so long? Maybe people don't need it.
Well, it gives you history in the end. It will stay there.
Yeah, so maybe it's the first Shisha in the world that you can pass to your
grandchildren.
Yeah.
It's like it's a heritage in the end. It's like, what did my family left me? Well, they left me a Desvall.
That's fun. That's fun. Yeah. Okay, so the first, your first product, how much was it?
It started from 60,000.
60,000.
Yes.
Wow.
And up to 100. So that was the range.
Depending on the crystal.
On the crystal, if it's going to be gold plated in those days, it depends on different varieties.
How many people can afford, and not only afford? Obviously, there are people like millionaires and they can afford stuff. How many of them smoke Shisha and can afford this kind of Shisha?
Well, as many people can afford to buy luxury items, it doesn't need they need to actually use it. They can also has it as a furniture, piece of sculpture, a piece of art. So it's like an art of the Shisha. So some people, I have some clients that purchased some Shishas, but they don't actually are not even Shisha smokers. They have it as a piece of a statue.
Like a trophy, yeah. Trophy. I have it.
Yeah, I have it. It's here. It's on my shelf here. Or it's a piece of furniture.
Don't you feel upset that somebody buys a product that you invested so much in the structure of it, in the way it works, you know, but he doesn't use it?
it's two sides. There's like happiness and sadness in the same way.
Yeah.
I'm always appreciate that they like the product and they purchase it and they buy it,
sure.
but I will prefer that they actually use it. It's like to buy a car and you never use this car. You just put it on the parking for all your life.
Yeah.
So it's actually made to be used. But some people find it so attractive and they say, well, I don't want to use this shisha. I will have it, but I use a regular one because I think it's slow. I don't want to like...
yeah. You presented the most expensive Desvall shisha ever, and I think the most expensive shisha that will ever be produced on Earth.
That's possible if I don't do something more.
If you don't do something more. It's 2.4 million euros.
How many rubles is that?
It's around almost 200 million rubles. Actually, this is the price of the latest Bugatti Chiron.
It is, more or less, huh?
Yeah, something around it.
It's around possibly 2.5 or something.
Something like this.
Options,
So you're gonna sell it, or you made it for a special client, or you're gonna make a promotion with it?
No, this one is gonna stay for 1 year, for possibly some exhibitions, expos, and then after the next year in October, it will go to an auction. And then we will see what the final price will be. And it will not go less than 2.4 million euros. It will only go more.
So it's only one, and you're not going to reproduce it?
No, it's only one of a kind. It will not be reproduced.
When you first thought about that sketch, let's go back to the beginning, that sketch, and you thought about how you can produce it, did you realize it's going to cost so much?
No, actually I thought it would be less.
Yeah? Was it complicated to start with this price, to find the clients?
Well, if you think, it's like actually like Bugatti when they started with their cars. A regular car in the old days is not a sports car, but we say a sports car. It usually costs, say, 100,000 euros or whatever. Huh? So a regular Shisha in the past used to cost maximum $100. Huh?
Yeah.
So basically, I put the price up about 1,000 times more. So for sure, it's 1,000 times more if you reach 100,000. Huh? It's like 100 by 1,000. That's
the biggest gap in any industry.
I think so too, actually. I never thought about it, but because afterwards they said it's expensive. I said, well, depends what you compare. If you compare it to a shisha, it is expensive. Huh? But if you compare it to another item, a watch or a car or something else, or a jewelry, it's not expensive. It's just, that's the price what it is.
Yeah. Well, I ask because I know that guys from Meduse or guys from EODM, another French luxury shisha brand, they have kind of troubles finding their clients to sell shishas for 2,000–3,000 euro. I can imagine how you can sell from the start without any establishment of the brand. You know, it was a new brand, something new. How to start looking for a client for such an expensive shisha?
First of all, the reason why I put my own family name on the product is because...
it's your family name.
It's because I stand for the product. That means if you fail, you have to be ashamed of your own family name. Huh? That's like the Ferrari did, or Lamborghini, etc. So that is the reason why I put my own family name, because I am proud and understand what I do with my product. You also need to have the network and to know the people in your surrounding, so you will be able to market and to meet these people, which are presumably possible clients.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't do any marketing in the traditional way. There is no such marketing to sell such shisha. It started with friends and friends of the friends.
Correctly.
So you need to be in the specific
and this social of the environment. And these kind of people are not usually the people who goes to Google and say, I want to buy a shisha.
And compare the prices.
They compare the prices. They don't so much in social media and searching for things, more or less. It's more word to word.
You have this carbon-made shisha, but there is a big story behind it.
Yes.
Tell us. I know the story. I want you to tell it to the audience.
The story started, I got a phone call and an email from the Bugatti division, and they said to me, we do produce the best super sports cars in the world, and we believe that you produce the best shisha pipes in the world. I said, okay, thank you. And they said, we want to do a collaboration with you. I said, okay, I'm flattered, but I need to think about it, and I will get back to you, gentlemen.
They had your phone number.
Yes.
Did they manage somehow to find your phone number? So there was the CEO of the Bugatti?
Yes, of the marketing team.
Wow,
yeah.
That's cool.
So after a month or 2 months, more or less, I went down to Wolfsburg, which is their main office, and we had a meeting.
It's France?
It's an hour from Berlin.
Berlin,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is Wolfsburg is the main office and facility of the Volkswagen Group. So that's where they're based. So we were sitting there and discussing, and one of the gentlemen, his name was actually, his last name was Ferrari. I said, that's a good last name you have too, huh? Yeah. He was the marketing chief there. So and they said to me, we want to do this Shisha with the Bugatti name on it. I said, no, that's not possible. And you should see their faces. They said, why?
So they just choose one of your Shishas
Yes.
and wanted to put a logo.
Yeah,
Bugatti
to
logo.
co-brand it. Huh? So Bugatti by Desvall. Huh? So it's never been a Bugatti product. It's always been co-branded. Bugatti by Desvall.
Which one did they choose?
They chose one of the Carats.
The carrots.
Yes.
The black one, I guess.
No, it's the one with the glass and gold.
Okay.
Yeah, correct. And I said, no, that we cannot do. We actually have to do this. And they said, what do you mean? I said, well, you are producing super sports cars, and there's a Bugatti, and you do them in carbon fiber. And that's how I got the idea when I was on spot with the gentlemen in Wolfsburg.
Did they show you the facility?
Yes, I saw the production facility, the car manufacturers, and the whole story behind it.
And did you know the Bugatti guy, somebody from the Bugatti before?
No, they just came to me from...
So Desvall Shisha is something that makes a better networking for you. You meet very interesting people.
A lot of interesting
people. Very interesting places that maybe you wouldn't be in other case.
Well, more or less, I have met some more interesting characters and different places due of the Desvall, but somehow I am always a good navigator to travel around and to meet people.
I think because I know you quite a little bit, a part of your success in this business is because you're such a friendly networking guy and you like different kind of people and you easily find the language to speak with them, because it's all about the networking to sell such things, I think.
It is. I'm very social minded and I love people and I love different cultures and different people and food and travel, so it comes together.
You have clients from all over the world?
All over the world, yeah.
Name the craziest country that you would never think will buy a Shisha from you.
Well, we have from Mexico, but that's not a crazy country, US, Canada, Germany, India, Russia, China, Japan.
Japan. Wow, it sounds crazy. Somebody from Japan bought That's cool. That's cool. And I never thought there is people in Mexico who smoke Shisha, actually.
It's starting up.
Yeah?
It wasn't before, but they're learning the culture and they're getting the ideas of it.
So, okay, at the Bugatti office facility, you told them about the carbon fiber?
Yes, correct.
They loved the idea?
Oh, yeah. Next, I did produce the first series we did, and we actually released it in the Dubai Car Auto Show. I think it was 2013 or 14. We had an expo there with the cars.
You produced it on your own? Didn't use their facility?
No, nothing. I just asked which carbon carpet they use. So we use exactly the same carpet.
And the same color, it's blue, I guess.
Yeah, dark blue, the same one as they use for the Veyron.
You produce it also in Sweden?
Yes, everything is always handmade and all production has always been in Sweden.
But you told me about the box. The box.
Oh, the box in the leather.
For the Desvall, it's not in Sweden. It's produced
no,
in
actually,
Sweden.
that's one in Sweden, but that's the box. It's not not the Shisha.
Okay.
The box, I didn't need to find a huge box for it, and I had the only idea which I came to was actually the watch manufacturers in Switzerland. So I did make a research and I got a contact with one of the biggest box suppliers. But the boxes usually they make them as
You told me it's for the watches, like
for the watches.
Philippe
This is
and stuff like
Patek
that.
Philippe or etc. And they're not that big size, so there was a bit challenge for them to make the box. And I think just the box cost more or less around 10,000 euros to make.
The box?
Yeah,
the box, 10,000 euros.
Yeah.
Куда смотреть? 10 тысяч евро за коробку. It's for Russian audiences like a car. A good car, you can buy a good car in Russia for the price of the box.
Of the box.
For the production price.
For the production price, yeah.
Okay. The production cost of the Shisha itself, how much was it? If it's not a secret.
Now, the production costs are much more higher than our margins. I mean, what I said to you, I lose money every day I'm working, but I do.
Just like the Bugatti, you know,
Yes.
when they sell the Veyron,
Yes.
They lose money.
They lose money.
Yeah.
All the expenses and all the production, but I do something which I enjoy, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And I want people to enjoy it with me.
Yeah. So how did it all end? Because as far as I know, you still own this Shisha, yeah? Desvall, Bugatti Desvall is in your private collection. You're not gonna sell it in the near future?
Maybe one day in an auction, but I think I will keep it for my children.
Yeah. So, but can you tell the story about what happened in the Bugatti?
Yes.
Yeah, we can tell.
We did make the release, and the chairman of the board, Ferdinand Peach, which is he's from the family of the Porsche family.
The one that is the main guy in
He is the biggest.
Volkswagen
He's the
group.
biggest boss of all car industries ever in the history. Yeah? And his baby is actually Bugatti. And
So it's his like vision to produce this.
yes,
cars,
the cars. That was his vision to create the Bugatti again. Huh? And he decided, and he got the information that the Bugatti had made a Bugatti by Desvall, and he was so furious, upset about that, because that is his baby, and he didn't know about it. That was why he was angry about it. Yeah.
So it's not because it was a Shisha.
No.
No.
It's not about the Shisha. Just
but
that they were co-branded with some other brand without his know-how.
So if they
Knowledge.
co-brand it with Hermes, it would be the same reaction, you think?
Well, actually, they do a co-branding with Hermes now.
Yeah, but I think it's on his improvement.
Yeah, and on his improvement, because you can buy Hermes seats now in the Bugatti as extra option. I don't know, it's a couple of €100,000 extra.
Well, I mean that it's not the problem with the Shisha, but it's the problem that he didn't know about it.
Correctly.
Yeah. Okay. Well, why I ask? Because I think, I don't know, do you feel it? But we on the mass market, we feel a very big tension about the Shisha business. A lot of famous people smoke Shisha, but they don't want to associate themselves with smoking,
Indeed.
especially Shisha. I assume that a lot of very rich, famous people, maybe sportsmen, buy Desvall,
Correctly.
but they don't want to be seen.
That's correct. And then some of them, I cannot reveal their names because of the privacy of their life as sports people.
But I think sports people is a big part of your client.
It is. Sports, music, actors also.
Yeah, that's cool. You feel this kind of, I don't know, hate in the industry that they are struggling to sell something much more less expensive, and you are the guy like, I sell for I don't know, for these amazing prices.
No, I never actually feel hate. I feel more, I would say,
Envy?
more inspiring or more copycats, basically. But hate, I don't feel. I teach them what they should do, maybe once a while, and they get inspired on my products and my creativity.
It's good for competition, I guess.
And actually, it does make that people start to do better things in the whole market.
Yes.
Because the level started to be much more higher. So they started to understand, well, we cannot do what we did yesterday. We need to do something for tomorrow and also for the future.
So we're jumping from one topic to
Yeah,
another.
no worries.
Let's finish with the Bugatti. So the main chief didn't knew about this whole story.
Yes.
And
basically then we had to stop the project due of his decision as the biggest boss of Volkswagen Group and of also for sure the Bugatti. And I think the Bugatti CEO possibly get sacked, fired from his
Wow.
position of this.
So, a Shisha made a big change in the Bugatti history.
It did.
Desvall
Yes.
Shisha. Wow, I think it's quite an achievement.
It is. Thank you so much. And only produced one. It's called P001. That's it. It was only supposed to produce 100 pieces. Huh? That's it. Like the cars,
Yeah.
more or less. Yeah.
Yeah. So someday, if you
300 pieces. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Someday, if you will think about selling it, I think the price will go up on the auction. For a Bugatti collector, it's a kind of holy grail.
It is actually.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. You told me Top Gear approached you about
Yeah,
this
Top
story.
Gear, car magazines, but I deny them all a story because you're the first one ever to get an exclusive
Thank you.
interview with me as a person.
You have other innovations in the history of this Desvall Shisha.
Yes,
It
I
all
do.
started from the innovation.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are using some of them in the hookah industry today, but they may even not know that you were the first one to implement them.
Possibly, yes.
So let's speak about it.
Well, the first thing was the magnet
The magnet,
to
yeah.
park the hose and the handle. That was number one ever done.
And you have magnets also here.
Yes, correctly. Also correctly. And then secondarily, I was the first one to make the center of the pipe with the valve to make it rotate 360 on its own axle. And then third thing is on this model, and also the same one which I did for Bugatti by Desvall, the body is separated from the skeleton. So it's like two pieces, like more or less like a super sports car.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so the water tank underneath the Shisha goes from underneath. And then you separate the bottle from there. And the same with the hose. The hose was also the first one ever to cover silicone. I think I was the first one to use silicone, but actually I was also the first one to cover the silicone with
In
hand
leather.
sew leather. Yeah.
You also obviously produced in Sweden the leather, yeah, all handmade.
All handmade, yeah. Every stitch. This person is so good stitching. I mean, even the tailor of Hermes is jealous when he sees him. It looks
Really?
like, yeah, it is. It looks like the accuracy of the stitches looks like a machine, but it actually is handmade. And it's not easy because the leather is thick and it's hard to get through with a needle.
When you approached him with this order, how did you describe? I mean, did he understand what is he doing actually?
No, not at all. And he still doesn't understand it.
So I think he is like a father.
Yes, it's generations of
generations
he does, yeah.
Okay, you told about the leather and how it's complicated, but the glass base, it's the biggest glass base possible to produce.
Hand blow in that size,
Yeah,
yes. It's more or less around the 10 kg to handle.
10 kg.
Yeah. And if you put on the gravitation law, if you put a stick on 10 kg there, it will weigh like 50 kg.
Yeah.
So it's very, very, very heavy. It's not just 10 kg
So it's
to
made
carry.
by one person.
Yeah, one person. Yeah. And two assistants are surrounding him. So it's 4 persons in total to make a vase.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking about the business and the sales, this model that obviously you came up with after the Bugatti project.
Correctly.
And you adapted the ideas from the Bugatti project to be it less expensive.
Indeed.
So this one is 15,000 euro.
Yeah, start price.
So it's a lower price in the Desvall.
Well, I would say the start price.
Start
the
price.
entrance level for Desvall products.
Yeah. So speaking about the sales, is this one is more popular? People buy this one more?
Yes, they do. I mean, for clienteles, it's still affordable.
It's more affordable. Yeah.
All the items are always desirable, but to be desirable is one thing, but to be affordable is another thing.
Approach that you can use any bowl. We are smoking with a regular silicone bowl here, not the original Desvall, but you can choose any bowl.
Yeah.
And I think it's great because I think every so-called designers hookahs use their own bowl, and you can't use a different one.
Yeah.
So it was the basic idea from the start.
From the start,
Yeah.
because I feel the consumers and clients should have their own choice of varieties, how much Shisha tobacco they want to use, and how little or how much on with different setups they want to use. And I feel that is their privilege to use what they want. I mean, I'm happy and satisfied they chose my product, but I don't want to enforce them to use only this piece of bowl to fit only here.
Desvall Shisha tobacco.
Oh, thank you.
Well, let's start with the Desvall Corona because it's amazing. You put gold inside. The first tobacco in the world with gold inside. And it's not like culinary gold, no, it's like real gold.
Real gold, real powder gold. And the reason is I want people also to benefit by smoking. And how do you benefit by burning money? Yeah, when you finish the bowl, you actually scrap away the gold.
So the gold is not burning.
No,
it's
it doesn't
still
burn.
inside. You can pick it up.
Because you need 1,044 degrees more or less to burn, to melt gold. So we don't reach that on the Shisha.
So the more you smoke, the more gold you can collect.
Yes, correctly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, it's called Corona.
Corona.
Because of the Swedish money.
Of the
Corona,
Swedish money, correct.
And what's the flavor of it?
The flavor is a mix of different flavors. It has a bit of touch of vanilla, a little bit of slightly of a ginger also inside. So it's very, very delicate flavors, a little bit of mystique on it. You cannot directly define that this is taste double apple or whatever.
Did you come up with this idea of the flavor?
Yes.
So it's all your ideas?
Yes, I create the flavors and then I have a manufacturer which actually do the production for me.
You create them like yourself?
I have a chef with me for kitchen. Yeah. And is an old friend of mine, and he used to be working in the Guide Michelin restaurants and had made some stars in the past. So we think food, and from food we formate it to tobacco.
Well, that's cool. I think it's a very different approach, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that anyone can work with a Michelin chef on the tobacco. Well,
yeah,
it's cool.
It is.
So Corona is like one flavor, one line.
One line, that's it,
yeah. That's it. Another line is just Desvall.
Correctly.
Different packaging.
Yes.
I assume different price.
Yes, it is.
How many flavors?
It will be 4 flavors.
And what is the main markets? I assume it's not Sweden.
No, Sweden, we only use snus there more or less.
Yeah?
No. The main markets will be US, and I will love to aim for Russia because I love Russian and Russian people, and also Brazil.
So, Brazil?
Yes. Yeah. The Middle East or other markets, if they want the desire to have the product, they're more than welcome to purchase. But we don't do any marketing, or I don't do any events.
All these 5 years, you didn't do any marketing?
No, actually, I had some few questions about those social medias and what is your marketing strategy. As I did good products, that meant that people actually did the marketing for us, which is actually the strongest marketing you can get.
Like this story with Drake.
Oh.
Yeah? Can we speak about Drake?
Yes, of course.
He has a very exclusive Desvall Shisha, yeah?
He does, yes. He's a one of a kind.
One of a kind. How much is it to make a private order?
First of all, I don't do customize for the person.
Oh, so it's...
It depends if the person deserves it or not.
Wow.
So even if you give me $1 million and you say, I want to put my name all over of it, I will say, well, you buy it, you do it yourself.
Oh, okay.
I cannot stop you to personalize it, but I will not personalize it for you. That's the difference.
Okay, yeah, it's a big difference. But you did it for Drake?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, why did you? Are you friends?
It's a good friend of mine from Canada. He knows him since the past, and he said to me, I'm going to introduce you to a big music star. And he said, his name is Drake. I'm like, I'm sorry, Kevin, but I never heard about this man.
Yeah. It's rap music.
Yeah, it's a bit more rap, funky music. So it's not my music which I usually listen to. So I had no idea who he was.
What do you listen, rock or techno?
Well, both.
Both?
Yeah, depends on the mood.
You can choose one.
Yeah, I cannot choose one. I even like this. Big pass. I listen to Pavarotti, from reggae to house, deep house, to rock music. So the palette is big. But rap music, not too much.
Okay. So you met Drake?
Yes, correctly.
And he loved the Shisha.
Yes, he did. His eyes actually almost popped out, like Tom and Jerry, like dum, 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 when he saw the piece. Yeah.
So it was the customization. It was extra price for him, or it was like a
No,
present?
that was a present.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He put his own logos. Yeah.
Yeah, OVO logo, correctly.
Any other collaborations, customizations you made?
One for the weekend, the Starboy, very big artist these days. I met him for a few years ago the first time, but now he became very, very big. He's even been in the cover of a Time magazine.
Being a part of hookah industry in Russia, I think hookah producers would like to know how to start this new approach in hookah business. Because yes, you said about the copycats, and this is what's happening right now in Russia. Everybody is trying to copy somebody, maybe in Russia, maybe to copy something from Germany. It's always complicated to invent something new. So give an advice how to start this new brand, new business with new idea. What qualities did you have inside?
You need to believe in yourself. And first of all, don't listen to your friends, because everybody will tell you, don't do that, because that's very difficult.
Your friends told you that.
Yeah, it's very complicated, and it will cost you a lot of time, and cost you a lot of money, and etc. So you need to focus and listen to yourself and believe your idea, and don't give up. It's only about hard work. You need to work hard to get the goals. Some people are lucky, they might do something and they get it very quick.
Yeah.
And some people need to fail 10 times before they achieve their goals.
So not to give up.
Yeah, not to give up. That's very important. Yeah. And even with small financial means, it doesn't need you need big money, because usually if you have big money behind you, especially in branding, marketing, you will fail.
Because you have an opportunity to try and you fail. Yeah.
But usually you will spend too much money on marketing and things like Virgin Cola. I mean, Richard Branson has billions of dollars and Virgin Cola failed because it's a wrong product. It's not about the money.
Yeah.
And they have all the access to marketing channels and things, but still nobody's buying Virgin Cola.
Your family, did they support you in this idea?
Oh, well, they have their doubts what I do in different business fields, but I always do my own way, because I think that is important if you have your family, your children, etc., that you should actually learn and to do mistakes.
Yeah, sure.
And otherwise you never learn anything.
But today, 5 years, 6 years later, they think it's a good brand?
Yes, they're happy about the achievement.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, my daughter doesn't take my goodie bags to school yet.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't. She said, well, I cannot take this to school. And they don't believe sometimes. They said, have you met the weekend Starboy? Yeah. Is that true? Yeah. I said.
What did you learn at the university?
Oh, I never actually managed to do the university because I was.
Yeah, that's cool. It's very cool because people in Russia, they love people who didn't manage to finish.
I was. When I understood, I was actually thinking to study law one day.
Okay.
Yeah, and I actually have two friends which actually did to make a diploma as law.
Yeah.
One said, his father said, you have to be a lawyer. He said, okay, father, I will do it.
Okay.
He put the diploma on the wall after 4 years, and he's a chef. He likes to cook, as an example.
Yeah.
And the other one is actually a gondolier in Venice. He likes gondolier.
Oh,
yeah, and he's a lawyer, but he's a gondolier. That's his passion. So follow your passion and dreams, and don't listen and always desire what your parents ask you to do, because you not do it for yourself, you just do it for them, and that means it has no value.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
For coming to Moscow, to our place. See you next week, guys. Thank you.
Люблю Russia.